Cam, thank you very much for your time. Just want to go back to the PGA Championship first of all. What were the overriding emotions coming out of that? Great to be in the hunt again, or did it feel like a missed opportunity?
I think, given the way I'd played, recently, it was really nice to be back up there. It was a nice opportunity to win, and I felt as though I, performed pretty good under pressure, and with everything going on with the swing and stuff, it was nice to feel some confidence under some load, and the Sunday was way better than I was expecting.
Yeah, you've as you say, you're going through some changes. Claude Harmon III. Why did you choose Claude to sort of remodel your game a bit after a few difficult years?
Yeah, I don't think we're trying to reinvent the wheel. I think, Claude's obviously out here with DJ a lot, so just being able to get some time with him and actually do some work. And then, he's a well-respected coach. He's won all over the world and had some really great players, so it was an easy decision.
Yeah, is a lot of the work off the tee, the driver, or are you sort of accepting that you might be a bit wild at times, but
yeah,
you are an elite scrambler and putter?
Yeah, I think the majority of the work is trying to get the driver in play, and then kind of letting everything do its thing from there. I've always felt like when I hit a lot of fairways, I get a lot of opportunities, and that's what I've really been missing out on. So, driver in the fairway.
Have you felt something click, or was it just coincidence that the PGA came at that time? But you've had some decent performances in the midst of a difficult run like the Australian Open, where you were close as well.
Yeah, it definitely feels different. I would say my strike is different, and my ability to actually hit the shot that I want to hit is way better. So when I'm trying to hit a cut or a draw, it most of the time it's coming out like that. So it's nice to see some shots and then actually do it.
Was there anyone in the game that you leaned on during the sort of tough times? Any particular mentors or any other fellow players, ex-players, things like that sort of you were seeking advice from?
Not particularly, no. I've tried not to bug people my whole life, so just try to do my own thing. But I felt as though it was time for a change, and so far so good.
Bit of a deep question. Through it all, did you ever feel like your best golf was behind you? Did that ever enter your head? Did you allow yourself to think that way?
It definitely popped up into my mind a few times. When you lose confidence and you're not playing your best golf, you definitely think like that. But with the stuff that's happened recently, I definitely feel excited for the future.
There was a lot of discourse and criticism and questioning of you in that time. How do things like that affect you? How did you digest the words that were sort of coming your way about maybe the move to LIV had affected you negatively, or that you won't be the same player again?
I'm probably not the only one out here. To be honest, we've been highly critiqued, over the last few years, and I know in myself it's not through lack of trying or lack of hard work. It's just a bit of a phase of golf. You look through history books, everyone's had a couple of tough years, and it's how you come through and get out of it and perform on the other side, I think, which makes your name. So hopefully I'm on the way up.
You've got a growing family and a wife that follows you all over the world. How did that aspect of life help you when it came to professionally, or was it motivating? Was it nice to have distraction at times when it was difficult?
I feel like I've always been pretty good of not thinking about golf when I'm playing golf. When we're in the middle of a season, so our boys another distraction for me to kind of get away from golf and not think about it, which is nice. It is very hard to leave them at home, and all that stuff has been pretty difficult over the last year or so, but we're getting used to it.
Yeah, you made very clear at the time that family and time back in Oz was pivotal in your decision to join LIV. Obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty out here at the moment. Say it doesn't work out for LIV. Could you ever see yourself playing a full schedule in the US again? Is that a compromise you'd be willing to make again, or do you see yourself doing different things in the game?
I don't really know, to be honest. There's, like you said, it's a bit all up in the air at the moment. I'm optimistic of LIV's future, and that's my main goal. So I haven't really thought about too much other stuff at the moment.
How involved are you in the efforts to stabilise the league? Are you involved in high-level meetings with the captains and with Scott, people like that, to sort of try and power a joint way forward in terms of how you want the league to look?
Yeah, we definitely have some captains meetings, some players meetings. I feel as though they're very transparent with everything, which is nice. So we always have a reasonable idea of what's going on, but in reality, our job is to play golf, and their job is to grow the league and keep it going. So I try to stay out of it as much as I can.
Staying out of it and then leaving Scott to sort of run the ship. What are your impressions of Scott's leadership, and particularly in these difficult times over the past few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, he's been good. He's been communicating with all of us and being very transparent through everything. I don't think there's a lot of BS going on there. He knows that it's going to be tough, and we all know it's going to be tough. So, it's up to him and the team now to try and get it done.
It seems inevitable that there will be changes next year if the investment can be found. What are the things that you'd like to change about the league and how it does things, and what things would you think have to stay the same for the league to remain, what it's tried to be from the start, as being a different kind of golf?
Yeah, I think that's what we have to be careful of. I think LIV is trying to be different, and through tough times, you kind of lean towards, I guess, what's worked in the past. And I feel as though we really have to lean into the team stuff. I know it works in Australia and South Africa. Even last week in Korea and Asia, they love it. So I would love to see that become more than what it is now.
Yeah, and the prize money, if that changes, is that something that will factor significantly into what you want to do? If there's a big change,
I don't think so. This is like kind of been a awesome 4 or 5 years for us golfers. For everyone around the world, it's changed a lot of things, but I think realistically, it's time for everything to kind of go back to the way it was. It was obviously not working, and it's pretty far-fetched, realistically. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of changes, particularly with prize money next year.
Yeah. How important will places like Australia be to LIV securing a future? Obviously, it's gained real traction in Australia and South Africa, but it's not worked as well in the US, for example. Is it identifying more of those markets? Do you think that is critical, but also building on what you already have in Oz and in South Africa?
I mean, Australia and South Africa are probably the top. They seem to get around the teams a lot, and they love what we bring to their country. So it's nice. Being biased, Australians love us coming down there and performing in front of them and having a good time in Adelaide. It's a great event. I wouldn't say it definitely hasn't worked as much in the US, but I feel like we've gained a lot over the last few years. I think it's trending.
Speaking of Australians, it's coming up to a year since Greg Norman left the business. How do you view his legacy, both with LIV and just in the sport altogether?
I mean, there's no doubt he's one of the best players of all time. Definitely, probably the best Australian to ever live. I've looked up to Greg since I was a little kid, playing golf. So he'll forever be one of my idols. And it was I guess difficult at the time to see him leave because he did take a lot of heat at the start, and I don't think a lot of people could have done that. So I miss him, but it is what it is.
You miss him. Do you think the league misses him? And the charisma, the personality. You're looking for people to jump on board. He seemed very good at getting you guys on board. Do you think he'd be quite a valuable asset these days?
I mean, he was always about the players and what we wanted, and he was. I felt like it was very fluid with Greg. If we wanted something done, he tried to make it done. And not saying it's not the same now, because it's still kind of fresh and young, and there's still a lot of moving parts. But yeah, if the players wanted something, he usually got it done.
How do you view your chances, firstly heading into this week, but also with a couple of big events on the horizon at Shinnecock and at Birkdale? Obviously, you've played some excellent links golf in your time. So, how do you assess your chances for the upcoming challenges you have?
Yeah, I think this week will be a good test here. You know, Valderrama is always a tricky test. Makes you think. And then, you know, US Open and British Open coming up, you know, probably two of the toughest tests in golf, particularly Birkdale. Birkdale's a really tough track, and you have to hit it good around there. So hopefully we can dial in the driver and the longer stuff, and, you know, give ourselves 2 opportunities to win at majors.
Thank you, Cam.
Thank you.